But I did not open my eyes this morning expecting to read that Carlos Correa may be going to the Twins. Let me remind you that Carlos Correa is Scott Boras' shortstop who played with the Twins last year because he couldn't get a long-term deal because of injuries and lack of playing. He signed a 3-year deal with the Twins, but it was really a 1-year deal. Carlos Correa has a decent year. The Twins don't. He opts out, becomes a free agent. He signs with the San Francisco Giants, fails the physical. Immediately signs with the Mets. Great news. Steve Cohen from Hawaii, sipping on some sort of fruit cocktail, says, hey, this is the difference maker. Thank God we've got him. $315 million down from $350, no problem. Boras says, we'll take it. That was like 16 days ago. The reason the Mets haven't signed him is they're not happy with his physical either. And Scott Boras does not want to renegotiate the deal, but he's going to have to. But now he's desperate. So Scott Boras is calling up other teams saying, hey, you want Carlos? Come on, he's free. He's available. Just give him 12 years, $305 million. You can have him. The Minnesota Twins were rumored to have offered him 10 years, $285. Hear me now and listen to me later. The Minnesota Twins will not sign Carlos Correa to a 10-year, $285 million deal. They're not that stupid. The New York Mets can afford to be wrong. They can afford to have Carlos Correa hurt and not play. They can afford to sign a $300 million player who doesn't perform. Team doesn't win. The Minnesota Twins, no way. No way. Is it possible that I've been right the whole time? That Major League Baseball got themselves involved and said, Steve Cohen, you're not signing him to that deal. Then he goes to Minnesota. Guess what? If he goes to Minnesota, he's going back for a shorter deal. Proving health still, having a third year of 135 plus games. Minnesota cannot make a mistake. A 3-year deal, no problem. $60 million a year for 3 years. Double Bauer, 1.5 Scherzer, whatever, no problem. But a 10-year deal at $28 a year or $27 a year or $26 a year, no. There has to be a way to negotiate where both sides are going to be happy. How does Scott Boras make Carlos Correa happy when he's promised him year after year that he was going to get the career contract? Scott Boras has not underestimated the market. He has not done anything other than what he always does, which is tell his players that he will get them the long-term deal, because history says he always gets the long-term deal for the players. He always finds one owner to cave. If I'm a player or the parent of a player, I want Scott Boras as my agent because somehow he has pictures of owners with goats. But not the Pohlads. The Pohlads are not going to bail out Scott this time. Watch it. Now, how do the Mets save face here? I got an idea, and here's what it is. The guarantee is going to go down from $315 to below $275. The years are going to go down to about a decade. The incentives are going to go up. If I'm Scott Boras and I want to save face, the only way to do it is to guarantee fewer dollars, but to give Correa a chance to make more than he would have under the original deal. And as a Met, as Steve Cohen, I'm good with that. If he plays and performs, gets at bats during the course of a season, vests into another year, gets escalators for number of games played, and that escalation brings him to the Giants level. Think about this for 1 second if you're Scott Boras. I've got a problem because I thought my player was getting $350 from the Giants. Now he's only getting $315 from the Mets, but they won't even give him $315. I'm going to convince him to take $270 so the Mets can say they're satisfied, but I'm going to give him a chance to make $370. So I have a chance to tell the player, hey, you have a chance to make even more. All you got to do is stay healthy, and you say you're healthy. Be healthy. I think that's the type of compromise that's going to be worked out, but it's not going to be with the Twins. Here's how this goes. Carlos Correa is going to be a New York Met. Carlos Correa, I have a wait to see from November 7th of 2022 I already took the loss on it. Wait to see when I tell you something's going to happen. If it happens, I revisit it. If it doesn't happen, I revisit it. I took the loss because I said Correa will sign for under 275. And he signed for more with the Mets and the Giants. So I acknowledge the loss. Forget it. I'm taking it back. I'm not taking the loss on that. That is still an open wait to see. And I think I'm going to win that wait to see because I think at the end of the day, he's going to sign for under 275. So wait to see on the wait to see. How great is that? Now, what about timing of this? Articles coming out that the Twins are close. Does that get the Mets going? Think Steve Cohen gets a call from Billy Epler? Hey, we may lose him. Steve Cohen knows better. He knows. He's talking to the commissioner's office. The Twins are talking to the commissioner's office. They're all talking to their doctors. They're all talking to Boras. They're all realizing that spring training is still over a month away. There's no tremendous rush. I think Boras is too soon on these leaks about how close the Twins are. Too panicked. He comes off a little too panicked. Keep calm, Scott. You're going to get your wish. Owners always give in to you. Just be creative. You above all, you're aware. It's just business. You're going to have to call Carlos Correa at one point and say, this is nothing personal.